Hi, this is Georgie from Teacher's Friend, and I have been teaching and traveling for nearly 12 years now. And in that time, I've taught in 7 different countries, as well as visited 22 of those different countries. All the while, I've managed to save between 500 and 1,500 US dollars per month while teaching English both in the classroom and online. So in this video, I would like to show you the top 5 countries that I recommend for teaching English abroad in Asia. I'll tell you about the requirements, the amount that you're likely to save, what you're going to earn, and also any benefits of those countries. So first of all, we have Vietnam. So to teach in Vietnam, generally you need to be a native English speaker and you need to have a degree. Typically, you'll earn between 1,400 and 1,600 US dollars, but this is for completely newbie teachers. And then you'll be able to save between 300 and 800 US dollars per month. The cost of living in Vietnam is super low. Last time I checked, it was about 16 pence to buy a street beer. And there's also a lot of growth and career progression that you can have in Vietnam. So when I was working there, there were many teachers that would end up in senior teaching positions or management roles within only a few months, say 6 months, because there is a huge demand for English teachers over there. Also, in Vietnam, it's one of the countries with the lightest teaching schedules. So typically, you'll only be working between 18 and 22 hours a week, and this is classed as full time. There's also a lot of opportunities in Vietnam to take on extra teaching gigs. So for example, when I worked in Vietnam, which was the first country that I ever taught English in, I was earning about 1,400 US dollars a month. However, I was also then working for $25 an hour cash in hand, and I was doing about 10 extra hours per week. So these 10 extra hours made me about $250 a week, which meant that I saved up about 1,000 US dollars per month in extra savings. So what I actually did was I used to pay my rent from my paycheck for the language center, and then I'd live off the cash that I was paid for my tutoring jobs. That meant that the rest of my salary I was able to bank and save. So actually, I was able to save about $1,000 per month teaching English in Vietnam. So these statistics don't include any private tutoring that you might do or any extra online English teaching that you might want to take up. Also, Vietnam has some amazing cities where you can work. I loved living and teaching in Vietnam in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. I'd say that Hanoi is a little bit more conservative and it's not as westernized as Ho Chi Minh. And generally, people either love Hanoi or they love Ho Chi Minh. I really enjoyed living in both countries, but for me, I didn't like the weather in Hanoi because it can actually get pretty cold during the winter season. I know that 15 degrees doesn't sound that cold, but when you add in humidity and you're driving around on the bike and you remember that nowhere has central heating, then it can get super chilly. So I really liked Ho Chi Minh for its year-round 25 degree to 30 degree temperatures. But I think that the north is definitely more beautiful. And from the north, you can go to Mai Châu, Ninh Binh, Hai Long Bay, Sapa, Tam Dao, Tam Kok. There was a whole heap of places to go and visit, which I absolutely loved. In Ho Chi Minh, it's a little bit harder to get out of the main city. It takes about 2 hours, but you are right next to the Mekong Delta with plenty of beautiful places to go and stay. And also you can either fly or drive across the Mekong Delta to Phu Quoc Island, which is actually where I taught English during the pandemic. So I haven't actually ever been in a pandemic lockdown because I was able to live on this beautiful island paradise during the pandemic, teaching English online. So that's Vietnam. I highly recommend it if you're looking to get into higher paid jobs and have quick career growth. There's also a lot of IELTS teaching in Vietnam. So IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. And if you're not a native English speaker, then you have to do this test in order to live abroad, study abroad, or to get certain jobs to prove your proficiency in English. And there's a lot of money, as I've mentioned in a few of my videos now, in teaching IELTS. Typically, the pay would be between $20 and $50 an hour. And you're basically helping the students to pass the exam. So you're teaching them cognitive skills, critical thinking skills, and the best techniques for getting the best score possible. So there's lots of opportunity for this in Vietnam. And the best part is because there's so many language centers there, they will usually train you in how to teach IELTS so that then you can get more jobs or you can go off and do it on your own privately. Then we have Thailand. So again, in Thailand, you need to be a native English speaker generally, and you also need a degree. The salary ranges from about $800 to $1,200, so it is slightly lower than Vietnam. And your savings will be more like $200 to $400 a month. However, the cost of living in Thailand is super, super, super low, and Thailand is absolutely beautiful. One of the benefits of Thailand is that also you're very close to a lot of the beaches, whereas in Vietnam, it's a little bit harder to get to the beaches. Another great thing about Thailand is that you can get short-term contracts. So if you're a little bit worried about moving abroad or you're not sure whether teaching English is for you, you can get contracts over a few months up to 6 months, especially in the summer months. So this is definitely a really good option for you. And there's a really high quality of life in Thailand, which is why there are so many expats living in Thailand. There's a really good community there. And so if you're interested in building an expat community, expat meaning somebody that lives abroad, then Thailand is a really good place to go and do this. On top of that, you also get really big breaks in Thailand. So from April to October, there's normally large breaks in the schools, and whether you're paid or not paid, it doesn't matter because the cost of living is so low that you can definitely take this time to go and do some traveling around this amazing country. Places that I recommend are all of the islands. So Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, Koh Lanta, and Koh Samui. These are some really beautiful islands to check out. And you can also go and check out the north. So Pai, Chiang Mai, and Chiang Rai are also really good places to go and visit, especially if you drive a scooter. Hi! I just wanted to jump into this video to let you know that there are millions of people all over the world that are eager to learn English from someone just like you. Teaching English can be your gateway to the life of freedom and flexibility that you've always dreamed of. So if you're ready to explore the world and do something different, then please click on the link below or somewhere around this video, and I'll give you the step-by-step guide and help and assistance in order to make your dream of teaching abroad a reality. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye! Then we have Cambodia, which is amazing for non-degree holders. It's one of the only places where you can teach without a degree legally. Typically, you'll earn between $700 and $1,500 a month, and you'll be able to save between $200 and $500 a month. The cost of living is extremely low, and it's also really easy to get work permits. So I was a teacher trainer in Cambodia for 6 months, and I absolutely loved it. I recommend taking a walk down by Riverside, which is really beautiful, and also take a boat trip in the evenings, and you can watch the sunset, and you can also watch all the little boats with their little fairy lights on. It's really, really beautiful. Then there's Basak Lane, which is where you can go to enjoy a few casual beers, or if you want to, you can head to the clubs of Basak Lane. And it's also really great for eating out and restaurants. Again, there's a big expat community in Cambodia, so you definitely won't be short of things to do or places to go. One other thing about Cambodia is that it's a really good place to go if you're wanting to make a difference in the world, do some volunteering, and have a really good social impact. There was actually a genocide in Cambodia about 50 years ago under the Khmer Rouge, and a large amount of the population, mainly the educated population, were murdered. They were even murdering people who had degrees, who were teachers, who had education. And sometimes just because you were wearing glasses, they would presume that you were educated. And so they would kill you for it. Because of this, the average age is roughly about 27 years old in Cambodia, because everybody else was murdered. And so they're really looking to develop. It's quite a young vibe. There's a lot of up and happening things going on in Cambodia. And there's also a lot of NGOs and a lot of places where you can volunteer teaching English or set up social impact programs. And just by doing paid teaching in Cambodia, you're really helping the local people to improve their English and have better job prospects, increase tourism, etc. So Cambodia is a really good place for both degree and non-degree holders to really make a difference. Then we've got Japan. Now, typically you do need a degree to work in Japan, but through Teacher's Friend, we actually have some programs for non-degree holders as well. And you'll be earning between $1,400 and $1,900, and typically saving between $150 and $400 a month. So if stability is what you're worried about, remember this is what you're going to be saving, which means you can put this money towards starting a new business, starting a new hobby, paying off your student loan, or saving for a house deposit. The cost of living is moderate in Japan, but you should still be able to save a certain amount each month. It's a really good place for cultural immersion, and there's some really incredible sights to see in Japan. It really is like nowhere else. And you also get to rent a car when you take our program, which is practically for free, which is great when you're working in any of the public schools. So I highly recommend Japan. It's super cultural and also really modern if you're looking for somewhere a bit more upmarket than Southeast Asia. And then finally, we have South Korea, which is an amazing place to go if you want to save money. Again, usually you need to have a degree, but we actually have special programs open for people without a degree. And we also can accept certain non-native speakers. So get in touch if you are interested in that. Typically, you'll be paid $1,600 to $1,900. And you'll be able to save between $400 and $1,000 a month. Obviously, this depends on your lifestyle, how much you eat out, how much you like Western food, which is more expensive than local food, etc. However, I worked with Erin and Harry, who went over to South Korea. They were going to go for 1 year, but they actually ended up staying for 2 years, which happens a lot, because they absolutely loved it. And they were also able to save while they were over there for future travels. In fact, they even came back through Bali and came to say hello to me on their way back to the UK. Now, the great thing about South Korea is that you get free housing with your jobs, and you'll also get a flight reimbursement, which is usually a return ticket, which means that you get to go home with a paid for flight to see family and friends. Another great thing is that you get a 13-month salary. So what this means is that at the end of your contract, at the end of your 12 months, you'll be paid an entire month's salary for free, which is amazing. There's really good opportunity for high savings in Korea. One of my best friends lived in Korea for over 10 years, and he was able to save over $100,000 while he was there, which he's now using for investments and as a deposit for a house. Also, when I first went to teach English abroad, I met someone that had been teaching in Korea and had saved up $10,000 in the past year. So it's definitely a good place for saving money. And also, like I said, it's a little bit more modern than other countries in Southeast Asia. I would say that you're not as much of a novelty in Japan and South Korea. And so it can feel like the locals aren't quite as welcoming, but don't let that stop you. However, if you are looking for a really, really warm local, for a really, really warm welcome, and for the locals to welcome you with open arms, then Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam are the places to be. I hope that this has helped you. I will add this document into the comments. You can see I go into a bit more information about each of these countries and where you can work. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching my video. Check out the country comparison at the top, and click in the description below or somewhere around this video if you would like to book a free consultation where I can give you step-by-step help and guidance for getting TEFL certified and finding guaranteed job placement abroad. Thanks a lot. Please like and share, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.